We're going to cover Sibelius's Humoresque, Opus 89, number 3 today. This is a fun, short little piece that I recently began learning and studying a little bit more closely. This piece is mainly in two parts. There's this fun scherzando section and then this more lyrical dolce suave running 16th note section. And in these short pieces, it's really important that you convey a sort of excitement and charm because you only have that little bit to charm the audience. And so, especially in these violin short pieces, it's really important that you bring out the character. So the piece starts a little abruptly. You could think of that as maybe a horn call or something like that. And then the piece officially begins with the piano going. And then the violin comes in. So the piano sort of sets you up nicely into this nice little waltzing theme. Bum, 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 bum. So right away the character is very clear. It's sort of playful and waltzing. That brings us into the middle suave section. So what I'd like to talk about, especially with this piece, is articulation. And articulation can mean so many different things in violin playing. And it all really has to do with the bow in the right hand. And one very important thing about articulation is the idea of feeling lift in your playing. There's a lot of instances of that in this piece. Right from the beginning, you've got 3 notes already that pick up into the downbeat. The first note, if you just go, it's off the string, but it doesn't have that lift feeling. So yumpy, yo, yumpy. Now this lift is actually on the downbeat. So yumpy, yo, yumpy, yumpy, bum, yumpy, yo, yum. Right after this lift, you have these 2 tenuto quarter notes. Complete opposite feeling of the lift. The lift is you're sort of scratching the string upwards. The tenuto, you're really digging into the string. So, yumpy, bon, yumpy, yo, yumpy. So, you almost feel the arm weight digging in. There is no tenuto on this G. But I almost feel like there is one. I feel the quarter notes are sort of being more stately, whereas the so is a little bit more suave. We reach up higher to a B flat, and it's a double stop. Again, we can use a little bit more timing to bring out that higher note. To help with this feeling of suave, I go a little bit closer to the frog. Here we have finally some interesting harmony. I like to reach up for this A flat. This G here that I use the harmonic, it feels like we're going to this new harmony, but then Sibelius is kind of like, oh, not really. And then we go back to E flat major. So I like to bring out that playful character. This high G, finally we go up an octave. It's so playful. So really a wide vibrato, beautiful singing bow there. After that, we finally do go to the new harmony. So a simple harmonic progression there. And then so fa, so re, mi. That F sharp there is the first offbeat that actually has an accent on it. So it's kind of bringing out this that interesting harmony. And then we go back into E flat. So this is like a continuation to the story. You can really be playful here. And this is essentially a détaché stroke, right? But within this détaché, we can be so playful. I like to bring out this little inflection here. The one hard technical thing of this piece is these chords here, which just are kind of awkward because you're playing the melody on one string and then suddenly you have to play the chords. I like the bowing where you slur it in. Because I've tried doing these chords kind of rolling note by note. But I don't do that because I feel like he wrote the chord so he wants to hear the harmony. And so that's why I prefer playing the chords as full chords. Later on, he does here, right after, he writes that differently. He actually writes C, G as one note and then the F as a separate note. So there I understand why you might roll it differently. But I find that he wrote the chords that way, so he does want to hear the harmony. And by doing the slurred bowing, that makes it easier because you're already having so much pressure when you do the double stop chord. And this line is very melodic, so I don't mind adding in a few extra slurs. So later on, we go through harmonics. So those are essentially the same articulation, just being more careful and smooth with the bow. The theme is restated again in double stops. And then we have the suave lyrical theme in E flat minor, and that's where it gets really high. It's tricky, all those half steps and whole steps. I would recommend getting your hand really around and just really exaggerating those, particularly this chord. You've got a low 2 and going up so high, you really have to come quite around to reach that chord. So then later on, you do these rolling chords. The piano has the theme there. So you just accompany the piano, have fun with the melody there. And the piece ends with the theme and a big fanfare. So I hope you enjoyed this journey on Sibelius's Humoresque, and I will see you again. Bye.